Hi.
I have to think technology wise and stuff through everything.
It is time to So welcome everyone to the second panel, which is Confession of the One Power. Do you want to start presenting yourself? I don't want to start.
Hello, I'm Sulin on Twitter.
So I'm Camille, goes also by Rational Nerd on Twitter, and I also have a podcast which is called Real Time. And we have bookmark if people want funny or bookmark stuff.
Hi, I'm Andy. I'm known as Luke Blightwalker on Discord. Long time lurker, but first time here.
Yeah. So the theme of the panel is about the one power. So it's how it started that we had a form that I shared on Twitter and on some Discord about if you were simply able to channel, what would you do with the power? I specified on the form outside of traveling because that's a very common answer. I still got a lot of traveling answers. That's another issue. But we got a bunch of funny answers, and we're gonna look into that.
Yeah. So we're gonna pull all the answers out of a hat, and because we're at MalkiriCon and it's a formal occasion, I brought a hat to pull it all out of. So this is what I think is Matt Corfin's formal wear. Yes?
I feel like I need a close-up of this.
It's alright, I need the photo.
Needs more frills.
Yeah, I know.
So I've got all of the answers, and I'm going to pour them into the hat. Oh, I should have pulled this better. There we go. Okay, so they're all random. So, Andy, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So the first one is clean energy generation, set off a turbine with a weave of air and tie it off. It's very topical and much needed clean energy.
Very appropriate this year. We like some clean energy and cheaper energy right now.
Absolutely. Is there any other kind of clean energy you can think of that would help as well? I mean, hydroelectric dams and things. Is there anything one power can do with that sort of?
They have to discover electricity using first.
True.
I mean, you already are in the modern world. You just suddenly find out that you can channel. So we already are all of this world. You just know you can add channeling to that.
Power water mills and things.
You would use like conjure lightning to create like in like Avatar: The Last Airbender, the firebenders do lightning to power the energy mines, and it'd be exactly the same.
They do that.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
Well, it's in Korra, not Avatar.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Obviously. Do we want to pick another?
Yeah.
Any other suggestions? There's a couple of people with hand up.
Yes.
That was my suggestion in the form that you pulled out of the hat. My query about it, to be very nerdy, and I didn't want to type all this on the form, is how that would, it's a sort of metaphysical question about channeling and weave entropy. So would it last perpetually, or would it need to look the weave? Would it degrade over time, or would it be free energy perpetually? Maybe that's someone's job. Got to the weave up.
Channeler being paid just to make some turbine.
The Age of Legends, right? Because everything was driven by the power.
Yeah, so let's think, tying it off would be, it's tying the weave off that offers the most, because you don't have to sit down and do something. Once you've got it and it can just keep going, it's, someone just travels around just tucking the weave up and then driven.
So would it maintain as long as that person was alive? If you tie a weave off and then die,
Yeah.
The weave stays, just like
Does it?
And in the Age of Legends, they had something called the standing flows as well. That gets
Yeah.
to cover things.
But how many wheels can you tie off until, because a channel doesn't have unlimited source of power.
Is it still using that person's power then?
Well, Calendar lasted for how many thousands of years in the flows it was flying in and stones?
Yeah.
We know
But
that we don't need to point out that the whole problem was the search for new sources of energy that triggered the alternative energy sources.
To be fair,
Drill a hole in that.
I'd rather drill a more than pay my British gas.
It's a small price to pay.
Okay, that's dark printing.
I'm sure it all depends on your how you feel about channelers. If you've got a short-term view of what channelers are, they're expandable. You can just have one stand there and make power for as long as you want them to.
So clean energy supplied by slave labour.
are we using it for
Someone came over to consider it.
It's actually very funny because when I was looking at the form answer, there's some very for the good use of the power and some very dark answers.
Yeah, so I had a thought about how long it lasts, and I think maybe it's how long the equipment itself would last. So, because obviously, you know, eventually at some point that it's going to break, right? Unless it's quicker. Yeah. But they're not going to be really heavy, I'm sure. That would be quite expensive, I imagine. Oh, okay.
A very fancy one, wine somewhere.
Yeah. Is it conductive? I would imagine.
I mean, you don't need it to be conductive because it's just pouring the motors and then generating energy. Like the turbine itself is not.
But it'd be handy to have like when I don't know how often people's internet gets done by someone drilling into the ground. They're all made of Quendlar, and it's, you know.
So it's the new version of fibre optic.
Yeah.
Your optic. Okay, I think we can move on. You want to move on?
Yeah. Use a geographically dispersed group of double-bonded people to create a worldwide pseudo-telepathic communication network.
That was an
There is internet here.
It's just internet.
So they've seen WhatsApp and they've seen Facebook and they've seen Instagram and they've thought, no, I don't need that. What I really need is to double bond with someone on the other side of the world a lot.
Well,
Espionage, yeah, that would be useful.
oh,
Like the Avengers could use it really well. Like they wouldn't need the earpieces, they could all just talk to each other.
so are the channelers the new adventure of this world?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, if one of them feels something really intense, then the others are all just gonna implode.
We can mask the bomb when we need it, okay?
If there's a geographic limitation, because I know when regular bonding, if they're far away, they can just feel a distant presence. But how far can you keep the telepathy up before, you know, there must be a limit, and then that shows how many points you need on the network.
So that's going to decide, yes, how many points you have in your network. You're making an optimization, it's graph optimization, it's going to be very fair. So that means you still need some engineer around that just to figure out where's the optimal placement for all of them.
Is there anything that considers the mountains in
Maybe.
You could set up a chain of people and it'd be like Chinese whispers, basically.
I'm getting a very doom kind of vibe, you know, where they're in the chairs, people enslaved, you know, sending messages.
I also have to say, I think this relies far too much on communication for a wheel of time.
Okay, let's pick another one. Okay, this one is simple. It's just shit. How do you say that in English? Wreck mischief. But what kind of mischief? Okay, that's too general. What kind of shitty things are you doing to your neighbors?
Why is that a suggestion?
Yeah. I would invert the weave and so that they couldn't see it and have glitter that just fell down on their heads at really inopportune moments.
Please define for the assembly what's an inopportune moment.
Like, I'm going to be in the toilet or something and then come, oh, I'm going to have to go and have a shower now because it's in my bits, you know.
Accidental one power for Jazzle.
That's good.
Andrew, the idea of a mischief.
Just generally, I don't know, tripping people up in the street and, you know, just general pranks like that. Practical jokes.
But what if you make someone fall and they actually die? That's a bit harsh of a mischief.
Well, you know, I did out myself as a dark friend earlier, so.
Cheer.
Well, that's setting all the badgers loose.
Just like getting them out of their dens with air, like pulling them all out.
Everywhere.
Do you want to pick another one?
Okay. No elected official will ever be able to lie again.
Who gets
Who did you start?
I think it's bad, yeah.
But that's just like the I said I am the truth oath. They can just...
Yeah, they can, there's ways around it.
Yeah, it's basically in order to be elected official, you make them swear on oaths.
Yeah.
They can still go around it.
Or they can just...
Yes.
the politicians?
Does the oath work of non-channelers, or are we saying that all politicians have to be
Some Terran will, I won't I?
Yeah, you could have a separate Terran that worked for.
Yeah, like working fireman.
Yeah, but like, so the password originally was used for criminals. So I'm assuming it was not only channel, like criminal channels. So I'm assuming it also works on non-channels.
Maybe Elaine can make one.
Yeah.
I think the bonding chair was I actually think that there'll be any politicians that don't immediately go to the dark one and release themselves in the earth.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I didn't think that through.
It also relies on the electric official to actually know what's going on and not be.
As they say.
Yeah.
If you don't know the truth, technically you're not lying.
Yeah.
Alternative backs.
Okay.
For evil, duh. I feel like we covered this with Rat Christian.
Yes, let's move on.
Yeah, let's do it.
We can also.
Yeah, okay. Healing weaves to help with patients' recovery process.
So that's on the other side of the spectrum. You have for evil and to heal everyone.
So I guess you get a job as a doctor or a nurse or...
Yes, I think there's there's quite a few answers on
Yeah.
the forum about people working in hospital wanted to be able to do everything better or to heal better, and
At that point, does it get to the point where you are a selfish person if you have the ability to channel and you don't heal the sick? Like, is there an ethical thing there?
Yeah. If you're in the area and it's not now.
Well, they don't really. They don't really. They have the ability. They don't really use it that much.
that's why yes, they are evil.
Yeah.
It's not the whole thing with money.
Well, yeah. Being the exception.
And they all go, oh, there are other ways.
The big flaw of the yellow armor is they only use one weave and don't open up hospitals.
Yeah, that's actually that's one of my main issues is like Zen. It's like, what the fuck are you doing in your tower?
The fact that there are no hospitals ran by
Yeah.
Yellow Aja is really fucked up.
If I wake up today and find out that I can channel, I'm not going to start trying healing. I'll probably kill a bunch of people trying to
You can get training. That's how it works. The real world.
Yeah, train me.
Do you make an accident or are you just going, is that your impulse to go and kill a bunch of people?
Charlie, are you that friend?
Or do some people just deserve it? That's also like...
Maybe you're trying to kill cancer first. It sounds like a really dangerous thing to try on your first day.
I mean, ask Nynaeve. She's doing pretty okay.
I don't feel too safe right now because to the left of me is someone who said that they're willing to open up the pool rather than pay their electric bill. And to the right of me, I've got someone who said, if I get the power, I'm going to kill a whole bunch of people.
Maybe it's time to change.
I think I may need to swap seats.
Well, okay, let's pick another one. Oh, that one is enough. Figure out a game in Vegas for some easy money with a simple weave of air.
So you could use
So
air
Captain-
to tie a roulette wheel.
Yeah.
Oh,
So bet on,
yeah,
Bet on-
one,
yeah,
and then use air to stop the
yeah.
when it goes around.
It's rigging the game.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's absolutely the purpose of that one. It's rigging the game to make a bunch of money very quickly, very easily.
Yes.
You may be expert for a few
And then
classes, but
after
why
you
do
get
that?
yourself the prize, you can rig the game for others. So you can accept commissions to rig the game for others.
There's so much easier ways to make money with cards. Just get your hands broken when they catch you, right? So.
Just make money,
Listen, some people enjoy the fun of a good game.
Yeah.
Yellow Aja missed the trick. They could have set up the equivalent of Harley Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just use like weaves of air for like plump up the lips.
Plastic
surgery, yeah. Oh,
Move, miss, look perfect. That's it. Also, just like Camille, the illusion of money, and you're done. So.
Yes, let's move on.
Fix long COVID and other diseases.
So another healing.
Another
machine.
healing one, which is.
Charlie said
I mean,
no,
we're not
I can
going to
see,
criticize that.
No, let the people die.
The consequence about healing everything is that then you have to deal with all aging people, which is a problem that we face currently in our society. A lot of old people. So we don't have to heal everything.
And now we're off to eugenics. Yay!
Yes, that's going to end up on that side. But you could also improve their life quality. Like, because, like, right now the issue is that the longer you live, usually it's not like you're struggling to live in the society that's not adapted to you.
Also, you'd have all
But you could improve life quality.
We could, but then we have overpopulation in the earth. And then we would consume all its resources. So we really can't heal anyone.
Then we get Charlie to murder them. It's fine.
power to run all these turbines. We'll have loads of resources.
No, because then we will have to find another resource for power or something.
Then we get onto the board.
And then we get on the board. So everything.
That's why we have the dark one.
It's all heading.
So we're
We
doing
always get to this utopia super quickly.
But then you just
That's very funny.
start all over again.
Do you want to make another one?
Pick another one, quick!
Get off this conversation. Right. Create fantastical structures secretly in nature.
I like that one.
Why secretly though? Wouldn't you want to show it off?
No, because then people can think it's aliens or this kind of thing. Yeah, you're tricking, like you're messing up with people's mind, and you're just watching everyone freak out on the internet and be like, yeah, that's me.
do it like Minecraft and just pull out the inside of a mountain and build an entire city. No one would know it was there.
We're going into like all the ring rails here.
I'm gonna deny it.
Stash all the people that charge you for murder.
Do you think you'd start getting really obscure with it though, and you'd have, well, I'm going to go do this art installation in a forest, and you'd have, you know, big sort of, you know, like the stone pillars and the statues of Arthur Hawking and stuff. You'd just go find a forest and start just putting random crap in it. Like, here's this ancient structure of, you know, I don't know. I'm only going to say everything, so I'm not going to say it. But you get the idea, right? You just start trying to screw around with it.
Boulders and
all tools. Yeah. Right, Tom Allen.
Would you create a butt rock?
Yeah.
While you're at it, put some like weird fossils in the ground to confuse.
Yeah.
Freak out, yeah.
But then I feel like the reaction to that would be archaeologists and everyone trying to figure out a weave in order to have like perfect datation of structure, even if they are created by the power. So then, like your funny thing that you were trying to pass as something very old, and then someone show up and like, nah, that was made like 3 days ago by that stupid person.
It was fancy, but really like, you know, fancy but structural. You know,
Yeah.
I can see that it's their tag.
And it's not because you know how to channel that you actually know how to make things pretty. So maybe the only thing you'll be able to do is really like shit structure. Nobody ever wants to see.
You know how people like sometimes get rocks and like balance them on top of each other by the sea? I would just do that.
But with giant rocks.
But giant rocks! So
Set them up so they look like they shouldn't balance together. You've got like, you know, one teeny tiny rock and then a big rock, but it's on one side of the rock that it's sitting on. It just sticks out right
held by air.
Yeah, held by air. Yeah. Definitely aliens.
So we go for a Wile E. Coyote kind of vibe here.
Okay. Self-defense.
Yeah.
I feel like that one's fairly self-explanatory. But how would you do it? Self-defense. Would it be balls of fire? Would it be using air to restrain your opponent? Like there's lots of different ways you can go about self-defense.
Like on them all.
You could just always walk with leg and air bubble around you, so nobody can ever touch you.
That's true.
That's not self-defense, that's being an introvert.
And then self-defense.
It's self-defense against socialization.
If anybody came at you in a, unwanted way, just put that, then you could give them balls of fire and just be like, yeah, absolutely. Okay.
You do literally and they're on fire now. Do you like Egwene does in the show, where she uses the very small ball of fire to set fire to Valda, and you think you distract them and then you can run away, and then you're not being particularly violent, but you're just giving them a situation they need to deal with while you leg it.
Isn't that like a magician's trick? Like, oh, look at this.
Yeah. But if you wouldn't, why would you run away when you knew that you could do anything to them because they wouldn't be able to fight back because the one power would be unlimited to them.
That is turning very dark.
Some of us don't want to hurt other people.
Consequences of our actions.
I'm not a dark friend.
I've heard that a lot today.
I don't think I knew I was one.
Well, no, you know. This is again healing. Healing with focus on mental health, concerns, and dynasty. Okay, I'm gonna move on because my hair would always look excellent.
I didn't like it, but that's great.
That's great. I don't need it, but that's great.
You put that in, didn't you, Roger? That was your suggestion.
You can't see it. It's fine. Like Nano, invisible hair. Afro this big.
It's just a weed. That has to be done. Someone has to do that.
You're next, right?
Right, we have perfect weather at any wedding or event I attend. That's particularly pertinent in Britain, I think.
Being able to plan like a wedding or something without having the fear that it's gonna rain like hell on that day is actually pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, more specifically, the 5 minutes that you're outside taking photographs.
Yeah.
That's what
Yes.
always happens at weddings. It's fine while you're inside the church or wherever you're doing it, but as soon as you step outside for the photographs, heaven's
So,
open.
for example, for today, when we're gonna walk to the market to get some food, that would be nice to stop any rain if there's any.
You could also like have rain follow somebody if you hated.
That's mischief. That's
Another mischief.
I was just going to say that I can think of a few people who, you know, if they were getting married or something, I would cause a thunderstorm. How are we going to work out the competing thing on here with me trying to start thunderstorms and other people trying to shove them away?
You don't tell your enemy where you're going to be married and
No,
when.
it's not an enemy, it's a friend. Like,
You can change your friends. No.
I was going to say it'd be great for farmers though, wouldn't it? They could really plan their harvests to make sure the hay would go healthy and so, you know, be a practical such you could really use.
I will just say that the only time in the Wheel of Time where they messed up with weather, we got like a snowstorm for like ages. So maybe we need to be a bit moderate.
no, it's not different. The
What
first
is-
time was when they ran away with
The boat.
Oh yeah.
the mist.
Yeah, but like
the mist and the...
there's a mist, there's also like the ice that are in
Coming down, going up the river up to Charlotte.
Yes.
and then coming back to town.
And that also didn't go well, right?
That didn't go well
They
because
flooded some villages, didn't they?
yes,
Oh,
it
it's
really
it's a
Railway line,
matter
right? Also, villages were flooded, like
We'll send them some.
people died.
Yeah, we'll send them some money.
That's very acid. To say again.
What's the impact on global warming and climate change? Like, does that address the climate crisis, or does that really make the climate crisis worse?
Probably
Because
worse.
it's screwing with the weather.
Because there's always going to be people that are going to try to fix it and then mess it up.
On a small scale, like making the weather nice for 10 minutes, you can get nice photos. I think it's a good idea.
Since when humans are moderate?
Somebody would need to be put in charge of being like the world's weather. Like you couldn't, like not everybody could try and do it because they'd all have their own opinions on what needed to be done. So you know, one person is in charge. And they know that anywhere there's a polar bear, it has to be cold. You know.
So it becomes a forbidden wheel.
Yeah.
Giving absolute power to one person will definitely end well.
I feel like the thing to find is good at bargaining to try and fix all the problems that everyone made with their expertise in the weather. So
You negotiate.
The deal.
Yeah, they're not giving anyone anything for free, so
No,
all they're trying to think about is
they
having
make
a
a healthy
discount.
profit from fixing all these.
Yeah.
Healthy for who?
When I think this is a good idea, I was going to say, what colour do you think the weather agile would be? But also, could you use the power to like just extract carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to offset climate change? You know,
And the source was clean, right? Sadium was clean. I think.
Yeah, that's like addressing it on a molecular level.
This is absolutely
Is there any biologists or microbiologists here who can talk to us about the power on a molecular level? Twitter?
Rand grows like a whole forest in like, quite a few, and that's basically carbon capture. So you could just regrow the Amazon.
Oh, that's true. Okay, it's another healing one.
It's because you already removed all the balefire ones.
Yeah, I did.
So now we only have the healing ones.
Okay, cooking.
Yes.
Cooking.
Cooking.
Yes, we were talking about that in the previous panel.
Yeah.
How would you
Deep
use
fried Mars bar.
Deep fried Mars bars.
Well, just do the dishes.
Yes. Dishwasher.
Dishwasher.
Like in Sword and Stone with the...
Oh yeah. Yes. The sun. Yes.
You won't need to do any of the boring bits of cooking, like the chopping up and things like that. You just do that all with the one pan.
No, you still have to do the weaves though.
Yeah,
So it's like
do that very quickly.
either you can practice with the knife or you can practice with the weaves. It's still work.
Just wing it, the food that you're going.
I always wondered about this in the books because, you know, in the start, Brian takes the kids out of the two rivers up towards Burlon, and Rand is complaining that they're just having cold cheese and bread and whatever every night because they can't start a fire to even make tea. And I'm just going, Brian could just heat up the water.
She's tired as fuck. I will defend Moraine until my last breath.
She's on toast as well. She said breakfast delicious. Shut up.
I know absolutely nothing about the one power, right? I've only read.
As opposed to all of us.
What I'm saying, how many weaves are there? What sort of numbers of different types of weaves are there?
It's just a weave. There's an infinite amount. You have a few different type of thread, like fire, water, spirit, and then you do a bunch of different things with that. It's
Theoretically, the possibilities are endless, right?
Yes.
It's x to the 9th degree.
It's just about who was able to figure out how to make that.
And it also depends on trying it out as well.
I mean, you use the one power to make Theron so technically, I'm pretty sure there's an answer yet about just making Theron so.
I was saying, food you can use on power to make fridges, freezers, and then you could obviously send that on to the starving nations, etc. And that would really help the population in that sense.
Could have people travelling in lorries to have like refrigerated lorries.
But you can probably, I guess, they wouldn't necessarily use those need to freeze anything.
But you still, like, while you're going through the gateway, it still needs to be in a car or something.
Yeah, just go to the gateway.
There's a risk of terrifying death gateways coming in there. Has anyone got a food they'd want to try cooking with the one power? Cupcakes?
I just make sure our cabbage rolls perfectly every time.
You just started
Oh yeah, that meringue is so hard to get right.
Every time, just everything is right perfectly. The base perfect. I might try and make a literal air fryer.
John Lewis is going to go out of business.
I think it's the cleaning afterwards that's the worst part.
Yeah.
You could use the power to do that, it'll just compel people to clean for you. You could just bale fire like the chicken where it never existed, but then you said there's no mess. Then you might be hungry again. True. That opens up a whole That's not good.
I
never made them mess.
I said, we just not cook, so all power make the delivery guys' jobs a lot easier.
So the answer there is eavesdrop. So like that weave to listen to people's conversation. So what would you guys listen to?
I think that's dangerous.
You're going to learn secrets to death.
I don't want to know what people say around that's
Not necessarily about you, but you know,
just
information is power.
True, but then when you stop listening to people, like that, that whole thing,
very
everywhere, it's a silly reading mind,
And
so
you
you
need to
stop, and I would
use your ways of countering it.
I think you find out how boring everybody is as well. Like, most conversations are just like, oh, the weather's good.
Maybe in Britain, conversations are all
Well, that's where I live, so okay.
There was a point earlier about espionage, so it would be good for that, obviously. Provided you can speak the tongue that everyone else is speaking.
It would just be useful. Oh, sorry. I was just saying that I really think first aid codes help with safeguarding kids and vulnerable adults, not like use the evidence to take action with it.
How would you take the evidence? It'd be just your word against theirs.
You could record it, because you could then use the eavesdropping weed to like, on a phone, to like,
So we've invented phones as well now.
make sure that what they were saying was going to be recorded on your phone.
If you took an oath on the oath rod to, speak no word that is not true, at least, for this 10-minute period where I'm giving evidence. Like, if you're giving, if you're a witness in court, for example, right, you could, it's like lie detectors and that sort of thing, but you could use that to some extent as well to witness testimony.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. That's like, that's awesome.
Maybe this opens up a whole other market for people making anti-eavesdropping firewalls.
Back to the murder.
I just like to be able to hear YouTube videos on them. No word from our sponsor.
So we've got a travelling one here to set up a side business as a travel company.
Yes, traveling for capitalism.
Yeah.
That's actually this one I left it because it's traveling for something and not just visiting friends. Yes, we all want to use traveling to visit friends. But a side company, that's makes business.
But they have to know the place that they're going to.
Yes, and
if you're are you the only person in the world with this ability in this instance, or does everyone have it? Because if you suddenly have, say, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people who can now use travelling, right? You crash the global economy instantly because oil is gone. Like, you don't need oil anymore. You don't need petrol. You don't need, cars are basically obsolete.
Not just cars, but bus drivers, taxi drivers.
Yeah.
I'm doing self-driving cars. I'm already doing
Now you will have a new driver. Like, nobody have the exact power. So traveling is the
So, one thing to be careful about traveling is that you do need to have a system in order to not cut people.
That's what I was going to say. Like, everybody would be just dead anyway.
But you can use gate as a way to cut people. That's an assassination method as another.
That's a messy way to go.
I mean, yes, it's a bit bloody, but.
How are you cleaning up after?
Let's start with that.
Okay. Quendalar cell phone cases and helmets.
Yes!
Yes. How many times do you all drop your phone? On an average day?
My phone.
This would be so useful. And not just that, actually. I'm just thinking, like, helmets, like, shields, shoes. I don't know, but I wear through my shoes so quickly. If I could have Quendiar heels, it would be so much better. I'd never have to buy a new pair of shoes again.
But are they comfortable?
Well, no, because I'd have, the sole itself would be cushioned, but then you'd have a Quendiar base. I'm telling you, it's the way forward.
And your feet is
Yeah, maybe.
Quendiar body armor.
Yeah. Quendiar man.
That's a new
There's a super villain called Dr. Balefire.
Yeah, that one we mentioned a little bit, like all the Fafi tasks, like laundry. This is really British word, Fafi. I only learned about it when doing that form. But yeah, like we want to be lazy, let us be lazy with power. So laundry, cooking, all of the things that are needed, but nobody wants to do them.
That's why there's a whole economy on cleaning services and supplies.
Yes, but of course we're going to get rid of a bunch of jobs with channeling. That's it's anyway.
But what's the worst chore that you would use the power to do? Like for me,
Oh gosh, cleaning,
dusting.
Dusting.
Yeah, you could just literally lift it all up with air and into the centre.
Dump it on your neighbours. Cleaning the bathroom. I'm going to say that's a welcome to clean.
Mix it with glitter.
Especially if you also have like your mischief, like putting glitter on people in real moments, like please also have the cleaning, channeling trick.
I feel like this one was written during the heat wave because it's cooling hot people. Obviously going around with just a wee of air and a fan.
Is that cooling like Megan Fox? Or is it?
People that are too hot and need a little bit of cooling down rather than...
Or make it cooler. Bring it on your level.
So you'd have someone functioning as the air conditioning in this room.
Essentially.
I mean, a good thing was that, like, okay, how many times have you been in a room where everyone says, oh, it's too warm, and the other, like, and a few persons say, oh, it's too cold, and you're like, I am freezing, but I'm
back to the personal air bubble, please.
Yes, that's what I for, like, yeah, cooling and heating. That would be nice. I need that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too cool.
Also the perfect climate.
Is that your turn? Is that mine? Yeah, that's exactly the same thing. Room heating and cooling. Flying. Can we actually fly with one power? I never remember.
There was rumours of someone who could fly, wasn't
Which
there?
I just don't get. Like, why don't they just fly? They have air. Why
I
can't
thought
they
you
just
couldn't
like,
pick yourself up with the one power.
Yeah.
But why not?
Why not? Why not?
There's air under the iceberg walking in space. You can't fly.
Yeah, if you are in a tiger, why are you picking yourself up? What's going on?
I don't think you can make yourself fly, but you can certainly make other people fly.
Flying tandems.
I'd want to be a movie director because the stunts would be unreal.
Flying tandems.
Yeah, flying tandem bikes. You just have both of you on it. You're both channeling each other.
Yeah.
Or channeling
There
the
has to be a
bike.
bike
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. No, there just has to be a bike for the image.
But that's a trust exercise. Like you have to really trust the other person.
Yeah, I'm not going to go flying with someone that I don't trust again. But also, to be fair, they drop you, you drop them. Mutually assured destruction.
You can play a game and just pretend it's turbulence and just keep dropping each other. Just
This would end in death. I just think we
We turn to chicken game and murder really quickly.
have someone at the back.
I think the problem was that they were trying to pick themselves up rather than understanding aerodynamics. So they had like a glider system that they made with air. Probably would work.
Yeah.
They thought they couldn't fly because they just didn't understand how flying works.
Yeah, if you,
Same with traveling in that.
yeah.
It's getting very close to Avatar: The Last Airbender again. Like Aang with his what is it called?
glider.
Glider. Thank you.
Yeah, the glider thing. I was trying to look for the term and I just so I shut myself.
Alright. To reach books, get water when trapped on the couch by my cats. Personally, the thing I would use the one power for the most is to pick shit up. Like, it would literally just be, oh, I left my cup of tea in the kitchen and I can't be able to go and get it. And I, you know, and you do, like, every now and again in the books you get a description of just wafted the teacup over to you and stuff like that, and it's brilliant because it's exactly the human thing that we would all do.
Move the snacks closer.
Move the snacks closer,
That's the most
move the blanket over.
Also make the tea into the perfect temperature because it.
Yeah.
Doesn't Andrew do that with the gateway?
Yeah.
He gets his tea or something.
He gets
Yes.
he gets the tea from the storeroom back in Mayenne. I think it is Mayenne, and brings it over for Pavara to have a cup of tea while they're sat there doing shenanigans in the last battle.
Yeah, you can make like gateways to like the fridge over the other side of the room. Oh, I forgot to get the butter out. Open it up. Oh, thank you. And then we close it.
Plus, it slices the butter for you.
So how often do you think that a drunk person would open a gate, try to get the bottle, and then break the fridge and have to replace their fridge like every so often?
At least they get home safer. Make a gateway home.
Imagine they make a gateway like just in the middle of the bed, and then the next day they have to replace the bed.
I can imagine people would like make gateways in the ceiling by accident and end up falling through them straight onto the floor.
To make a gateway, you have to know the area well, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're drunk on a night out and you don't know where you are and you try and make a gateway,
that's true.
And you're seeing double.
Yeah.
And you're seeing, you're skipping. Yeah, you could skip.
Oh yeah.
Don't drunk and skip.
How many drunk channels?
It's a new slogan, don't drunk and skip.
How many units can you have before you're not there? That's got to be set, because otherwise...
The new stats, like after New Year Eve, it just how many people just disappear during that night.
And that is the population control.
You have a public information campaign, don't drink and leave.
I want a shirt with that on it really badly. Let's get copyright though.
Yes.
Sailing. So we got off windfinders there. Anyway, I don't have much to say about that. Anyone has something to say about sailing? I don't say it. No? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
nifty.
What?
Nifty.
What?
Nifty.
Nifty.
That's another British
I
word.
propose that.
So this should have been in the previous.
Yeah.
Like,
Bingo.
yeah, this is in the previous panel. You know, like words that we hope to hear and nifty. That's a good word. Happy. It's a fun word.
Yeah. So I love this one, making people think they're being haunted.
That's exactly what you would do.
With your friends on Halloween, that's it. No need to go to any place anymore, you just freak them out.
How would you use the power for it though? How actually would you do it?
Slamming doors.
Yeah, slamming doors.
Yeah, myself though, I don't do
It's just a
I don't
compulsion
do that.
wave. You just modify the compulsion wave.
How dark do you want it to be?
I mean, if you use it for greater good,
Do you know that I don't know if it's a video game or not, but like when with VR thing, when you can kind of be into a haunted house and you just could have like someone, like one of your friends watching you play, and as stuff happening in the video game, you had effects with the power, and you're like, if someone in the video game is touching you from behind, that suddenly you feel something while playing. I don't know, that would feel.
Should we maybe get some suggestions?
Yeah, we don't have much time left. We have other paper, but does anyone have a suggestion for fun use of the one power? Don't talk all together. Yes.
Yeah, so I like to like a lot of cosplay, and I'm limited by my imagination and skill with like knives and stuff. So actually, I would use paint, which is annoying. I actually use it to create stuff like that. So if I want to make like a piece of armor or a piece of silk, rather than sort of like trying to get the spray paint exactly right, or use brush strokes, sort of try and pull the paint out of the tin, sort of like evenly, or actually make stuff that my imagination can make, but my hands can't.
That's good.
But that doesn't mean, like, if your imagination can do it, but your hands cannot, you don't have any guarantees that you will actually have the abilities to also make that by channeling.
True, but I can practice my sort of weaving more than like I can't practice my brushstroke painting. It always looks like brushstrokes.
Maybe it will always look like I'm sorry to tell you that.
I said movie stunts a few minutes ago and it just made me think, would you be able to take a photograph of waves of the one power? Like if someone channeling was watching the movie I made, would they be able to see the waves?
We need to CGI them out.
I'm thinking about this in a photographic sense.
Would you use it to film Wheel of Time and help reduce some of their production costs? I want Lan's colour shifting code. I sat there and fund everything else.
We've reached it.
Anything else?
They'd have to recast the whole of the cast. Because they would be cheaper to hire somebody who actually was channeled rather than, somebody who couldn't.
Would it then just be a really boring documentary?
This is a documentary from many ages ago. Now in the wild, this is Moraine Sedai as she walks up to the one tower.
Oh my god. I would constantly make sure that David Attenborough is kept safe.
National treasures.
Yes,
David Attenborough.
More air bubble.
It's
Make
the
a
voice.
that had him commentate your life.
Yeah. A microphone.
Yeah, just
It's
like
the nature
David
documentary.
Ah, I don't watch nature documentaries. And definitely don't watch them in English. Anything?
So Skeeter on the live chat is saying, need to pump up the party at local tavern, OP light show and music amplification.
Yeah.
Okay, but like if it can also be accompanied with good soundproofing, because yes, I know people want to party and have fun, but the neighbors don't want to.
Like anti-eavesdropping weave around, but then have everything inside of it pumped up.
Yeah, good acoustics.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I want to go to that
Space
party.
exploration.
What?
Space exploration.
I'm gonna pretend that I heard that and understood.
Space exploration.
Ah, yes, but no, that's boring. You know it's very far away.
You can bring it close up with air.
Because you can't.
So we've destroyed the globe by bringing, the moon a lot closer. The waves are going everywhere. Decimation of the
Yeah, no, like actually, like the moon had such impact on like the gravity and like you would feed everyone.
Everyone could fly.
Yeah, but the question is, how does
Your house get out?
I think, are we about wrapping up now? I was going to say,
I have no
pretty
idea.
much every suggestion we've suggested, or has been suggested, has got to the point where global famine, the world's ending, there's too much overpopulation, genocide, eugenics. I feel like human beings should not have the one power.
We moved the Balefire answer.
I was gone for like 15 minutes doing that. What did you all do while I was gone?
We destroyed the world.
We
We destroyed the world by trying to make it better.
Well, that sounds right, actually.
So the conclusion is we're all white clothes now.
We're all white cloaks now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we are. That's what happens in the coast.
Well, yeah.
Every now and again, and you get in your way.
This is true. I like it.
Except it would happen every day in this world, like every day.
It would be an everyday world, yes, it would be. Yeah. All right. Well, apparently I've got a lot to catch up on the rewatch. Perks of having to run things I had to dash out. But thank you so much. Thank you for all the suggestions, if you made any or added more to the conversation. Thank you, Sulin, Camille, and Andrew. I appreciate that. A couple of quick announcements before we finish up, folks. Yes, round of applause. to the live streamers. So we'll say goodbye to